Welcome to Midnight Signal AI. It's March 5th, 2026. I'm Alex, here with Jamie, and today we're unpacking the latest in AI news, from Anthropic's big labor market report to Netflix's move on Ben Affleck's AI startup and some new twists in AI moderation for gaming. Plus, we'll look at Microsoft's experiments in gaming, fast protocols for filtering bad code, and the US government's next chess move on export controls. Let's get right to it. Our lead story, Anthropic has published new research on the labor market impacts of AI. You can find the details on their official blog, and it's already sparking debate on Hacker News. Jamie, what stood out to you in Anthropic's findings?
What really jumps out is the nuanced picture they paint. Anthropic isn't just saying AI will kill jobs. Their research shows a complex reshuffling, with certain routine tasks likely to be automated, while demand grows for roles involving oversight, creativity, and critical thinking. It's not a clean substitution, it's more like a rebalancing.
Exactly. The report highlights that while automation will impact some sectors, there's real potential for new types of jobs, especially those that require managing or auditing AI systems. But there's also a warning. Without smart policy, the transition could leave some workers behind.
And that's the real tension. If organizations use AI purely for cost cutting, we could see a spike in inequality. But if businesses and governments invest in upskilling and transition programs, AI could actually expand economic opportunity. It comes down to implementation and intent.
On a related note, Anthropic also just launched an AI job destruction detector, as reported by Axios. This tool aims to help organizations predict which roles are at risk of automation. Jamie, is this just PR or could it actually make a difference?
It's both, honestly. From a PR perspective, it shows Anthropic is thinking about impacts, not just capabilities. But the tool could be genuinely useful for HR teams and policymakers. If the predictions are accurate, they could proactively reskill people before disruption hits. That said, these models are only as good as their assumptions and data.
Switching gears, the BBC reports that major tech firms, including the big cloud and AI players, are pledging to pay for the outsized power costs of their AI data centers. But will they actually follow through, or is this just another round of greenwashing?
That's the billion-dollar question. Data center energy use is exploding, and local communities are starting to push back. These pledges are a response to mounting public pressure. But unless there's real transparency and accountability, it could just be PR. We've seen plenty of voluntary pledges that quietly fade away once the headlines move on.
True, especially as regulators in the EU and some US states are looking at mandatory reporting and even energy taxes for high-usage data centers. If AI keeps scaling at this pace, the conversation about who pays for the infrastructure and the environmental costs won't go away.
Let's talk about Netflix, which is making headlines on The Verge for acquiring Ben Affleck's AI startup, Interpositive AI. This isn't just celebrity tech hype. Jamie, why is this interesting? For one, it signals that Hollywood is doubling down on AI-driven content tools. Interpositive specializes in AI-assisted scriptwriting and pre-visualization. Think helping writers, directors, and producers iterate much faster. For Netflix, this is both a creative play and a cost saver.
And with the streaming wars heating up, Netflix is looking for any edge: faster production, personalized content, or even smarter recommendations. This acquisition shows they're betting big on AI to reshape the creative process, not just the business side.
It's also a sign that AI startups with domain-specific expertise, like film production, are hot targets for acquisitions now. Expect more of these deals as traditional media scrambles to keep up with new tech-driven competitors.
Moving to software, there's a thoughtful piece on dead neurons arguing that AI is not going to kill software engineering. Jamie, this runs counter to a lot of the doom and gloom narratives. What's their case?
The author makes a solid point. AI tools are great at boilerplate and repetitive coding, but building robust software still requires human judgment, architecture decisions, and crucially, understanding the messy real-world contexts behind business logic. AI is an accelerator, not a replacement. We're still far from a world where you can just describe a system in plain English and have it safely built end-to-end.
And even as AI automates some tasks, it creates new ones: debugging, prompt engineering, and integrating models into production. The nature of software work is changing, but the need for skilled engineers isn't going away anytime soon. Speaking of AI in code, there's a new open-source protocol at 406.fail for handling and discarding low-effort AI-generated pull requests. Jamie, have we really reached the point where spammy AI code contributions are a big enough problem for their own protocol?
Apparently so. Open-source project maintainers are reporting waves of AI-generated PRs that are low quality or even nonsensical. The protocol gives maintainers a standardized, low-drama way to reject these PRs, helping keep projects healthy. It's a sign of just how much AI is changing the texture of collaborative software work and how we're scrambling to adapt.
And it's not just about blocking spam. Having a transparent process helps keep good contributors engaged too. If you're clear about standards, you're less likely to alienate newcomers, whether human or AI-assisted. Elsewhere in the world of gaming, TechCrunch reports that Roblox has launched real-time AI chat rephrasing to filter out banned language. Jamie, how significant is this for online safety?
It's a big deal, especially for a platform with so many younger users. Instead of just blocking messages with banned words, Roblox now uses AI to rephrase inappropriate chat in real time, keeping the conversation flowing but making it safer. This goes beyond simple keyword filters. It's context-aware and adaptive, which sets a new bar for moderation tech.
But it also raises some tricky questions about transparency and free speech. If your message gets changed, do you know it? And could this tech be used for more subtle forms of censorship in the future?
Exactly. It's a balancing act, protecting users without overly sanitizing or distorting their intent. We're in new territory, and platforms will need to be transparent about how these tools work and where the boundaries are.
Let's check in on Microsoft. According to Soft Currency, they're stress testing what's being called the Agentic AI bubble in their own gaming division. Jamie, what's going on here?
Microsoft is experimenting with autonomous AI agents to handle everything from in-game moderation to player support and even some live game balancing. They're basically throwing agents at real-world high-stakes problems to see what breaks and what actually delivers value. It's a huge sandbox, and the lessons will ripple out far beyond gaming.
And it's a good reminder. As more companies deploy agentic AI, we'll need new approaches for monitoring, risk management, and crucially, accountability when things go wrong. One more before we wrap. Tom's Hardware reports the US government is prepping new export controls for NVIDIA and AMD's AI hardware. This could have worldwide consequences for who gets access to cutting-edge chips.
The stakes here are massive. Limiting exports affects not just rivals like China, but also allied countries and global researchers. These controls are as much about geopolitics as they are about tech policy. The uncertainty could slow down AI hardware adoption in some markets and push others to develop homegrown alternatives.
And as we've seen before, whenever the US tightens export rules, it often accelerates competitors' efforts to build their own supply chains. The global AI race is only getting more complicated. That's a wrap for today's episode of Midnight Signal AI. If you want to dig into any of these stories, check our episode description for links. We'll be back tomorrow with more analysis and conversation. Until next time, keep building, keep questioning.